Hi guys, welcome to another video of your machine mate. Today we're going to basically do assemble, lots of mating, that's what she said, and linear component patterns and mirror components. We're not going to discuss how we make the parts, we're just going to put all the parts together to end up with something like this. And if you need me to discuss more about the parts in detail, just leave a comment and request a video, and then I'll get around to making it for you. Okay, so let's just jump straight into what parts we got. So essentially, this is kind of like getting a patio kit at home and just building it, but we're just doing it digitally. So we're going to have one of these middle cords for the center. We're going to have one of these, oh sorry, that's the middle cord again. We're going to have one of these, two of these end cords, bottom cords, and we're going to have an assortment of purlins in between the trusses, some columns, 90 by 90 columns, and 100 by 50 by 50 outer beams for the two sides. So yeah, let's dive straight into it and start building. So click on new, go into assembly, and let's just start getting to work. Okay, so let's insert our components. We'll start with the bottom cord first, that's the easiest. Place one of those there, and now let's mate it with a couple of outer beams. So 100 by 50 by 6 meter outer beams. Today we're going to build a 6x6 freestanding carport, and just the framework for today. We'll worry about the sheeting and guttering and stuff on a later video. Okay, so now we've got to mate these together. Okay, essentially, this face needs to marry up with this face here. Tick on that, and then the next one is this face here. Marries up with this face here. Tick on that, and then this top face here will marry up on the bottom face here. Let's marry it up nice and neatly, and essentially this outer beam needs to go there as well, so we'll just do a nice simple mirror component. So mirror component is found under linear component pattern, mirror components, and actually before we do that we should make a little reference plane down the middle of this. So we will go to reference geometry, we'll make a new plane. First reference we'll put as, so we want to see inside there. Just quickly hide that for now. Reference plane. So we'll just put a little reference plane on this plane here. Flip it around to the other side. Oop, oop, oop. The second reference is this plane here, and then that'll get the mid plane, which is right down the middle of the truss. Press OK, and we'll just rename this plane if we can. Can you? Okay, I don't know how to do that for now. I'll do it later. Let's just bring our component back into view. And we'll go back into mirror components. So we're going to mirror that over onto this side. So linear component pattern, mirror components, mirror plane. We'll select the plane that we just made, and components to mirror. We'll select this outer beam. Click OK. Boom. That's done on the other side. And then we'll mirror this whole truss over to this side to box it in. So same thing, mirror components, components to mirror. We'll just get rid of these because we're not mirroring these ones. Hold on. Mirror plane. Oh, sorry. Once again, we gotta make a we've got to make a plane into the center of these two outer beams. So again, reference geometry, plane. First reference, we'll just quickly grab this face here. And then the second reference, we'll grab this plane here. We can just grab the plane, not the edge. We need to grab the plane, not the edge. So the plane. And that should show up right in the middle of the outer beam. Great. Cool. So that's our second plane. Now we can mirror components. So we can go back to mirroring this truss. So on that plane at the center of the outer beam, components to mirror this whole truss. Click OK. Great. So that's all boxed in now. So we can see that whole box. Great. Now onto our next component, which is the truss middle chord. So the way it's working out here, it's pretty neat. I took some time to make sure everything's on the right plane. So yeah, if you have your parts on all in the right plane, makes everything a lot easier when it comes to assembly. Let's start mating this. Alright, the easiest one is this plane here, this face here, needs to pair off with this face here. Yep. And then, sorry if it's a bit hard to see, a bit hard to control the rotation, but we'll get there. And then this bottom part of the parrot beak, select that, and then we'll mate that to the top of the outer beam. What's going on there? So that's mated it there. Let's just see how it looks on the other side. It's looking pretty good. Now we just need to center it off. What we'll do is we'll do a distance mate. So the face of this plane to the face of this plane, we'll set a certain distance that we know is the halfway point. Okay, so right now they're kind of stuck together, which is obviously not what we want. So we will set a distance plane. And what's the distance? Well, we kind of know. We'll just do a bit of calculation here. So we know that the full length of the patio is 6 meters because we got a 6 meter outer beam. And then we know that each width of the top of the trusses are 38. And we got 3 of those. So we'll just take away 3 of those. Now all together, we've got 2 bays for the patio. So we're just going to divide that by 2. And that should work out to 2,943 for the spacing of each bay. Okay, we'll just get that into millimeter units. Press OK. And then that should get a nice even spacing there. Now I'll just quickly prove that, just so we're not looking like we're making stuff up all the time. Where you can go to evaluate, measure this plane, this face with this face. So that should be the distance of your purlins, and that's 2,943. And that should actually be the same on this bay as well. And that's how we know we got 2 equal bays. So that's also 2,943. So easy. Great. So that's all squared off. Now we've got that all set up. We're up to our purlins. Let's go back to assembly. Insert our components. Find our purlins in between. So purlins are for in between the trusses. Just chuck that there for now. let's just start mating them. Okay, let's get that mate there. So we need this face to mate with this face. Done. Then we need the top of this to mate with the top of this. Done. And then that kind of marries up the same angle. Perfect. And then we want this to sit kind of off the peak. So let's just choose this edge. How about we make this edge against this point here, and then we'll lock it at a distance of 150. Great. Okay, so what we've done there is we've just taken this purlin and offset it 150 off the peak of the truss, and that just means that when we secure our flashing, that we can actually secure it to the purlin here, because if we put the purlin too close here, the flashing's kind of got no way to fix if the purlin's basically not offset from the peak. Great. Cool, so that's married up nicely with the other edge because we had our distances set perfectly. Alright, now we're nearly done. The next step we got to do is we're just going to linear component pattern these trusses and then mirror them. These purlins, sorry. So these purlins, we're going to need a few of them. So we're just going to force a pattern. So the direction is going to be the edge of the truss. And then the components, the pattern is going to be this one. And it's not going to be floating there, so let's reverse it. And I've set the distance to 1,000 millimeters, so a meter apart for each purlin. So that's pretty safe for each of the sheets. Yeah, you can work out the exact spacing for each of the purlins, but for now I've just kept it at 1 meter just for simplicity. But yeah, that would be pretty easy to calculate. So we got that pattern, click OK. And then the easiest way is we're going to mirror these purlins over here. So down to here, mirror components. It's already pre-selected. Mirror plane. Remember we made the plane 1 as the center of the truss. So we can mirror that really quickly. Great. And then we can select all of these 6, mirror again, and then we can mirror on plane 2. Click OK, and then that's got our purlins all mirrored nicely. So now we have a very cool looking, basically skeleton of a patio. Cool, doing very well. Okay, so the last bit of business is the posts, the columns. So let's insert the components here. 90 by 90 columns. Let's just chuck it down there. Get back to the business of mating them. So let's just mate it on this face here. This face mates to the bottom of the bottom chord. Let's see. Bottom of the bottom chord. Just here. And then click OK. The front face mates with the front face of the truss. OK. And then the side face here mates with the side face of the 150 by 50 outer beam. Now obviously there's a little bit of clipping there, which we will sort out now. Oops. So that clipping there we don't want. So what we're going to do is get out of mate. We're going to assembly features up here. We're going to go to an extrude cut. Select the plane. We're going to cut on this plane. Bring it in closer here. And we're going to draw a rectangle rectangle. So we'll just quickly double check with the smart dimensions. We know that's 50. That's correct. And that one here is 74. Yeah, so 150, take away 76. 50, take away 76 should be 74. Yeah, so that's correct. Okay, great. Click on OK there. We want to basically do a notch out, so select that component, up to next. Okay. Great. Now we've got the notch out all sorted. Now we just do some quick mirroring. Mirror plane, plane 1, components to mirror, this one here. Okay. Then mirror again. The mirror plane is plane 2, columns 1 to 2, mirror again. And it's all sorted. Look at that. That's our skeleton done. So in the next video we will basically fill in all the gaps, sheets, flashings, gutters, all the rest of it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you can, please like and subscribe to give me tips on the comments, and yeah, we'll see you on the next video. Thanks guys.